So for this question, it is similar to before, but instead of comparing temperatures, you are comparing molecular masses. So remember that if you are at the same temperature, then that means you are at the same kinetic energy. So if the kinetic energy of A is equal to the kinetic energy of B, that means 1/2 mv squared for A is the same as 1/2 mv squared for B, right? So take out the 1/2s because they are equal to each other, which means that if A, for example, is a higher mass, it has to have a lower velocity than B. If B has a lower mass, then it has to have a higher velocity, or again, vice versa. So it all depends on what the situation is. So what you do is you look at the masses of each of these guys. The heavier molecules move slower. The lighter molecules are going to move faster. So all we have to do now is compare their masses. So H2S has a mass of about 34.1 grams per mole if you add up 2 hydrogens and a sulfur. This guy over here is definitely bigger. So that's going to be 32, about 44, about 48.1 from a little math in my head there. So when comparing these guys, this guy over here is heavier. And if this guy here is heavy, then that means it is slow. This guy over here is light, which means that he is fast there. So we come down here and we check them out. Which one is faster and which one is slower? Well, it's pretty clear that the speed is down here on the x-axis. So whichever one is the speed is the one that has whichever one is lighter is going to have the higher speed. So it looks like B here is going to have the higher speed. So this guy here is the higher velocity. So this is velocity that is up. So if velocity is up, then that means this guy here must have the mass that is lower. So this guy here should be the lighter one because it has lower mass and higher velocity. This guy here, A, is the one that definitely has the lower velocity, and so it's going to have the higher mass. So now what you do is you compare them. So the one that's the lower velocity is the higher mass. So that looks like this is your H3CSH because it has a mass of about 48, whereas B is a lower mass and so a higher velocity, so that should be your H2S, which has a mass of about 34. So if 34 is lighter, lower mass, higher velocity, the 48 is a higher mass, lower velocity for this guy here.